Continuing with The Dragon's Child by Jenny Nimmo, this chapter is called Catching a Fabulous Beast. "Run, little dragon, run as fast as you can," cried Manon. The dragon leapt out of her arms. He rushed to the mouth of the cave, past the drummer, and out onto the shining sand, bleating for his mother in a high, terrified voice, a voice she would never hear. The bird swooped down from the cliff, scolding the dragon's child with piercing shrieks. "Silly little dragon," she called, "didn't I tell you to beware of people? Didn't I tell you not to trust them?" She swung away as Lord Drum came speeding toward them. Dando raced for the cliff path, his heart pounding as loud and as fast as the drum beats behind him, and as he stumbled up the cliff, the bird tilted in the sky above him, calling, "Hide, little dragon, hide where they can't find you." This had already occurred to Dando, and as soon as he reached the cliff top, he darted under the nearest clump of leaves. The bushes gave excellent cover, and he wriggled along in the tunnels beneath a sea of broad leaves without ruffling the surface at all. But Lord Drum wouldn't give up. I'll get you," he cried. Manon, racing behind him, called out, "Please don't hurt him, Lord Drum. Just leave him. He's only a what?" demanded the drumming boy. "What is he, Manon? Tell me." She would never tell. She would rather die. "Just a poor little creature that won't do any harm," she said. "Don't lie to me, Manon," he snorted. "It's a fabulous creature, something magical and special, and I want it." And he raced back to camp crying, "Come and help me. Come and join in the hunt. I've found a fabulous beast." Great Smold was admiring the shining pavilion his people had built for him. "Stop bothering us," he said. "Go and play somewhere else." "I'm not playing." Lord Drum stamped his foot. "I've seen a fabulous beast. We must catch it, or it'll creep up at night and eat us." "Better do as the boy says," advised Lady Bolda. "I sense a tantrum coming on. Besides, he could be telling the truth." "Very well," said Great Smold. "Describe this beast for us, young Drum." "It has coppery green scales and golden eyes and a row of shiny spikes, no, triangles, all along its back, and a long twisty tail that ends in a point like an arrowhead." Lord Drum looked so earnest, his father began to believe him. Great Smold pulled at the ice-white whiskers on his long chin. Then he clapped his hands and called for attention. When his people gathered round him, he said, "My son has seen a fabulous beast. It is obviously something we cannot allow to roam freely about our camp. It must be hunted down and caught before nightfall." He called upon his son once more to describe the beast he had seen, and the people listened intently to Lord Drum's story, which was embellished with the expressive thunder of his drumming. Outside the circle, Manon heard an account of a creature she barely recognized, for Lord Drum made it sound as though the dragon's child were as big as a lion, when it would have been more accurate to say he was the size of a dog. "They'll never find him," she thought, "for they'll be searching for something quite different from a little dragon." But Great Smold's people were not the sort to give up. They beat the bushes, scoured the cliffs, and swept all the caves. They even explored the dark, dangerous forest as far as they dared, poking bushes, climbing trees, and wearing bees with their nets of silvery steel. All the time the dragon hid in the bush, scurrying this way and that, as sticks and brushes and beaters grew closer. It was only a matter of time, he realized, before all bushes fled and there was nowhere left for him. Birds screamed around the searcher's head, not knowing what to do best. Should she try to lead them away, pull their hair, peck their noses? Lord Drum had a tantrum coming on, and the bird made it worse. He dropped his net, picked up a rock, and took aim. Before he could let it fly, a hand shot out and knocked the rock from his fist. Lord Drum whirled around and saw Manon running away. "You brat!" he yelled. "You stupid, crazy girl!" He stormed after her and, leaping on the girl, brought her crashing to the ground. "You're a bully!" cried Manon, pulling his hair. "A bully, uncared. You will never think smaller than you are." "I'm not a coward," screamed the boy, but Manon kicked and scratched and bit and yelled until Lord Drum had had it. He jumped up, just managing to hold back a tide of furious tears. Manon was about to make her escape when a voice called, "Found it! I found the fabulous beast!" The dragon's child crouched in a sea of stems. He stared out at the people, big eyes, hiding his and trying to be the dragon his father had commanded, trying to be worthy of the name he'd given. Desperately, he searched for a way to escape. The circle of people was closing around him. "Run, run!" came Man's voice. It's not too late. But it was. He's mine, screeched Lord Drum, and down came the big silver. It fell before he had time to think. He gave a little wail of astonishment and dread, while Lord Drum laughed and beat out a roll of victory. Night fell as they carried the dragon's child back to camp. They put him in a cage that swung from a long steel pole, and he lay with his tail curled up tight around his copper-green body, so still he might have been dead. Manon kept close to the swinging cage, trying to reach the dragon with comforting whispers. Don't be afraid. I'll save you. I promise. How could she? She was so much smaller than the Welkin people. They were tall and very strong. Their deep, dreary voices were terrifying to the little dragon, and he tried to banish the sounds from his head, but he couldn't stop himself from watching his captors, and his golden eyes blazed with the mirrored light of their flaming torches. And that's the end of this chapter.